Hey folks, MasakoX here. Before we talk about the lovable bug who loves to hug people, I'd like to point you out to my brand new, newly minted, refreshed Patreon at patreon.com/MasakoX, where there are 2 simple tiers where you can pledge to just help continue to get this channel chugging along. I really appreciate you taking the time to consider it, and right now, let's get on to What If Perfect Cell Turned Good. The first wave of attacks was surprisingly swift and definitely not something that 21 had expected. One thing was sure though, this new intruder was not holding back, which made the bio-android consider transforming into his bronze form straight away. "So, Gamma 3, huh?" he said during the clash. "That indicates the existence of a Gamma 1 and 2. Are they still operational, or were they discarded like most things that the Red Ribbons find defective?" 21 grinned, trying to get his opponent off balance through wit. "Aren't you a cunning linguist, Green Boy?" Gamma 3 said, and headbutted 21, and treated him with a rolling kick afterward, after which he was slightly stunned. "But I'd rather save my energy if I were you. Your chances of survival are minimal." She charged up toward him when he regained his balance and quickly transformed into his bronze form and managed to ease the situation, ease the blow that little bit more. But still, she was pushing through. How? How had the army been able to build an android this powerful? This had to be his namesake's doing. She must have used the previous affair to gather some data. There was no other explanation in his mind. 21 powered up ever so slightly and started gaining some sense of an advantage, which threw Gamma 3 off the loop. "Resistance is foolish, villain. I do not tire. At some point, you will run out of juice and I shall take the bounty." She gritted her teeth. "Villain? I think you have a sense of mistaken identity, ma'am. I am a good boy." The good boy cells said in an almost offended tone. Gamma 3 sighed. "I don't have time for this." And after the statement, she took a gun and shot 21 with a laser beam, which burnt off part of his wing. What the bio-android expected to happen was almost instantaneous regeneration, but it wasn't happening. While the damage wasn't exactly permanent, his wound was healing at a much slower rate, which was kinda terrifying. If this pop gun could somehow halt his regenerative process just even a little bit, he had to act fast. This time, he was the one charging, with the beam cutting deep through his shoulder, causing him a lot of pain. Still, this allowed him to get close. First, he tried a solar flare, but his opponent was unaffected by it. He mustered all the remaining power he had in a powerful kick that did knock the weapon out of Gamma 3's hands, causing it to fall into the debris of his home. The Red Ribbon android growled with irritation, while 21 decided to use the Kamehameha to propel himself like an octopus, spewing out some ink. The beam hit his newest enemy and pushed her toward the ruins of his house, but also shot him up into the air. Then he powered down and decided to lay down. He would always be grateful to Krillin for teaching him that, stealth mode. Then he retreated. He had to find his friends. If he was right, there were at least 2 of those, and in friends, they might be in danger. Not only that, but Vegeta and Goku were not around, again, which left him and Gohan as the 2 most powerful fighters left on Earth. He decided to seek for Piccolo first, and wasn't really surprised to find a similarly sad scene at the site of his home. But the faint trail of his mentor was there somewhere, so he decided to open up on it and slowly follow. He found the Namekian doing a stealth mission of his own. 21, what are you doing? What's with your arm?" Piccolo was surprised to see his friend actually wounded. "I also had a visitor, my friend. Let me guess, did he introduce himself as a Gamma?" "Yeah, Gamma 2. I think I figured out where the army base is, though. Are you sure you're okay? You don't look well." "Well, mine was called number 3, so we're missing at least one more, yes. Let's continue following your guest. Maybe we can end it at the source." "All right, but after this, we're taking you to Dende." When they realized it would be far easier for Piccolo to eliminate one guard and therefore take his suit, 21 kept his distance.
We'll keep telepathic contact. I'll tell you what I can see in there.
The good boy, Cell, hated having to wait, but he didn't want to risk that there were more people with those kinds of weapons. His wounds were still burning rather nastily, not healing properly.
You're not gonna like this. I can see 3 gammas, but they're building something massive. They're referring to it as the Grand Finale Protocol.
Any signs of the witch? 21 asked telepathically.
Which?
My namesake, the scientist lady.
Not really. Just some guys in suits and one short scientist.
Well, why don't we just end it here and now? Blow it up! 21 was readying to attack.
Wait! I may have other ideas. Let's meet outside.
The bio-android was quite surprised by this move of Piccolo's, but maybe the Namekian could be right. He probably considered that there might have been some traps placed within the compound. Also, all 3 gammas there would be a huge challenge if they were equally strong. As they regrouped, Piccolo looked at 21.
I want to get Gohan in this. He's been slacking lately. Not only on training, but also taking care of Pan. We might, maybe, use the situation to get him back.
Wait, hang on. Wait, what's going on with Gohan? You really want to bet the safety of the planet, trying to convince him to be helpful again? Isn't that a little bit unserious? 21 was a little bit flabbergasted by this, but Piccolo sighed.
I know how this sounds, but trust me, I think if we can motivate him, I can't only get through to him, but also the 3 of us should be enough.
Well, we had a problem with one of them. There are 3, and we don't exactly know what this Grand Finale Protocol is, Piccolo. Maybe we should call reinforcements and be done with it.
I tried that. I tried contacting Goku and Vegeta, but you know how they are when they train.
The Namekian grimaced, knowing all too well what they were like.
Let's fix this one thing at a time and go to Dende.
And they did, as they decided, going all the way up to the lookout and passing Korin's tower on the way to grab some sensu, just in case. Maita was quite surprised to see her dad looking wounded, still wounded. Piccolo, Papa, what happened? She was immediately at her father's side, tending to the wound.
Don't worry, I had a really nasty day, sweetie. Nothing that Dende couldn't.
Before he could finish the sentence, his daughter had already raised her hands. A warm, soothing aura was generating through the laser burns. 21 was watching this in awe. How his own child was able to help his regenerative ability get back on track.
Good heavens! That's impressive! You've been rather serious about this Guardian internship, weren't you?
The bio-android was impressed and hugged Maita. She's been very talented, but can you explain how that happened? Dende chimed in. Piccolo nodded slowly and began to tell the room about the hardships that they had just gone through today, which really concerned everybody gathered at the scene.
I was thinking, could you perhaps, I don't know, unlock our potential, Dende? Mine and 21's, that is, just like Guru did to Krillin and Gohan, remember?
Dende shook his head. No, I'm not old enough for that, but I may be able to upgrade the Dragon Balls to do so.
All right, but we have to gather them anyway. 21 looked at the Guardian.
Well, Bulma has them now, so...
we better hurry. Knowing Bulma, she might already trying to be using them to make herself young again. 21 looked at the Namekian. We have to leave at once.
Good boy Cell immediately launched himself into the air, feeling absolutely vigorous, with Piccolo following by his side. Hey, wait for me! I'm going with you! Maida also took to the air. As the 3 of them appeared at Capsule Corps, Shenron was already present.
Bulma! Stop!
21 yelled.
Your wish is granted,
the massive dragon announced.
No!
The Namekian and the 2 bio-androids yelled as they appeared right next to the engineer scientist. What? I tracked them myself? Hey, if you need a wish I can share. I've only used 1 wish, and what's with you 3? You seem quite shaken.
The situation is complicated, and we need Shenron's help anyway.
21 didn't like this a bit. Was that the same dilemma Goku had faced while facing Beerus? Still, there were more important things than his personal satisfaction.
Shenron, I need you to wake up mine and 21's potential. It will take 2 wishes, but they shall be granted, Kami. Alright, I think we're okay with that.
Piccolo looked at his bio-android friend.
Yes, get on with it, dragon.
21 nodded slowly at it. The blue aura surrounded both of them as they felt some rather odd sensation. It was as if someone had found padlocks deep within their bodies and forced them to be opened. Due to his unique composition, this sensation was especially strong for 21. For a moment, he almost forgot how unearned this upgrade felt. He looked at Piccolo, who seemed truly impressed by his own sense of transformation.
I threw in a little bit of extra just for you, Kami.
Shenron looked at Piccolo before dispersing into the usual bright sparkles.
Well, this does sound like favoritism, I'm not going to lie.
Good Boy Cell sighed, trying to remain calm. You could have also used the wish to bring Goku and Vegeta back to Earth, Bomb scoffed, thinking that was all selfish. There was a moment of pause before anyone could say anything in response, and 21 shook his head.
No, we can do it now. I'm quite sure that if we could just get Gohan and Contra on board, we might stand a chance against the Red Ribbon Army and their new toys. Indeed. Since I still have the uniform, I should probably do some more covert operations first. Could you grab Contra then?
An idea started to sparkle in Piccolo's mind. I'll try to gather some people too. I'll grab Goten, Trunks, Krillin, your siblings? She looked at Good Boy Cell.
Good call. All right, we all know what we have to do. Let's split.
And as it was decided, the group became 3 smaller ones. Well, except Piccolo, who went off solo. As he knew the location of the Red Ribbon Army HQ already, he was able to sneak up on them easily. Now, the only thing he had to do was to listen in on the plans of the leaders. He arrived at the right moment. It seemed that the tall man with a huge pompadour was trying to devise a plan on how to get to Gohan, and the fool wanted to do it via Pan. That was an opportunity. Piccolo didn't like how his own mind worked in this moment, but this could have been the thing he needed to allow his friend to get his priorities straight. He only had to make sure that the granddaughter of Goku remained okay throughout this entire scheme. Meanwhile, in the same building, the 3 Gammas were regrouping with their creator. I almost got him, that arrogant, annoying thing. His very existence is a major offense for our cause. Number 3 was venting toward her brothers. Number 2 started to giggle. What's so funny? She glared at him. Well, I got my guy just fine. Besides, you keep talking about him. One would think that First off, your guy was much weaker. Second thing, what are you trying to imply? She went uncomfortably close to her sibling, intimidatingly so. Oh, that he made a lasting impression on you. You can't stop talking about him. Almost as if you got a crush, sis. That's ridiculous. He's my target. I saw him for a few minutes and I do not have a crush. Number 3 almost punched her brother in the face. Stop teasing her, 2. 3, you know better than to allow our silly brother to throw you off balance, Gamma 1 said, trying to defuse the situation, remaining stoic. Yes, I know. 1, it's just I'm slightly irritated by the fact that they are forcing the doctor to go on with the GF protocol. We can handle these fools. Number 3 seemed frustrated. I don't like this any more than you do. Hedo looked at his creations, trying to comfort them. But if you hunt these villains, we can prove to them that these other things weren't really needed. Not gonna lie, Doctor, they freak me out. Number 2 nodded, leaning on both of his siblings. Yeah, I need to check out on them. You 3 get some rest before you go for your targets. Doctor, you built us so we don't require any rest, Grandma 3 reminded his creator. That doesn't mean you can't have it though. Hedo nodded at them, hinting at them, and went to the lift. It was a long ride down, and Hedo always hated this section of the compound. While the blueprints and the samples were insanely complex, Hedo was still wary of them. The closer this whole GF protocol was to its finishing, the bigger was his feeling of dread. As he came out, he felt a wave of hot air. That wasn't really strange considering how the 3 enormous pods were powered up. At least the readings, apparently, were looking okay. He checked out the first pod. CHDAT's max reading seemed okay. Then he walked up to the second one. And the same was true for MI max. Finally, he braced himself and got near the largest of the pods. The one that scared him the most, PC max, seemed stable. Although Hedo had to make sure that the power wasn't being pumped in too fast. It could really make him unstable, PC max. The young scientist was blissfully unaware, though, that he wasn't alone in the underground section of the lab. Someone was watching him with a certain sense of affection. He looked so innocent, almost helpless, but his mind was very sharp, a trait that was inherited from his ancestors, no doubt. He was also able to upgrade on her designs, which filled her with pride. It was a rare moment when she could actually feel something positive, something hopeful. In the end, it was Hedo who would spearhead her grand finale and accept his legacy. Android 21 smiled, overjoyed, when she noticed how well the young scientist was dealing with overflow of the power in PC Max's pod. "Clever boy," she whispered. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.